Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine.
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 180.
You got claps because you were right. You asked the question. 180?
I
yes.
did.
Yes, very good.
Oh, yes. I felt like it was on Jeopardy. What is 180?
Isn't it? We discovered a new toy, and it's the clap. Although, we may have discovered that toy at points when we drank too much. But for the podcast purposes, we've rediscovered the clap, and it's a good thing.
This is the good clap, the happy clap, the clap that tells us we're doing a good job.
One of my favorite movies. It's got to be top 3, right? Top 3 favorite movies.
I've never seen that. Oh,
Gorgeous.
I thought top 3 was the name of the movie. It's interesting. Tell me more.
Top 3 has to be not Drop Dead Gorgeous, A League of Their Own. When at the end of the movie, when they're going to the World Series and these kids walk up and they're like, Jimmy Dugan, they're like, hey, sign my ball. And he writes, avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan. And as they run away, he's like, that's good advice, kids.
It is good advice.
Unless you're doing a podcast, then you want the clap.
Yeah. Or if you're doing a late night talk show, I assume you want the clap also.
Or a comedian. I bet comedians get the clap all the time.
All right. Speaking of comedy, this joke has reached its end.
No drum roll. No joke drum roll from Caitlin for this one. So we're hey,
there it is.
There we go.
All right.
She's just happy that we're leaving this joke. Is that what it is even? So here we are, 180. I know we got a lot to talk about. We spent 41 minutes trying to fix technical difficulties. So let's jump into it. 180.
Yes, 180. Actually, a very popular number. I found lots of things. So I jotted that. I think the most well-known 180 is the phrase doing a 180, which means a complete reversal. So that applies to many things. So like skate lingo. Are you a skater? Are you a skater boy, Rick?
I am not, but I was just thinking. In my head, I wanted to say doing the 180 won't necessarily give you the clap. And then I thought how Caitlin would be annoyed if I made another clap joke. And then I thought,
too much clap.
All this clap, and we haven't mentioned, if you do have the clap or you think you might have the clap, check out Pineapple Healthcare, our sponsor.
Beautiful. Nice segue.
Anyway. No, I'm not. I will say, I've always, in high school, I was attracted to the skaters.
Yeah.
I think that song ruined it. But other than that, I know that one of my favorite Watermark part-time, or I should say one of my favorite Watermark freelancers is married to a skater.
Yes. Well, then they probably know that 180 is a term used in skating quite often. It's doing a 180 refers to rotating the board and your body 180 degrees in the air. It's pretty on the nose with the name. This move is foundational for tricks like the fakey frontside 180 pop shove it, which is a real thing that skaters do.
The way you said, I know that we always talk about how much we research things that we talk about. The way you read that made it sound like you were reading it for the first time.
It is.
Makes me so happy.
In stunt driving, are you a stunt driver, Rick?
If you ask Ryan, I am. Ryan's always afraid for his life when he gets in a car that I'm driving.
You're not a good driver.
I am a wonderful driver. Everyone around me sucks.
In stunt driving, they have something called the Rockford turn, which involves spinning the car from reverse to forward, spinning the car 180 degrees. I'm sure you've seen it in a lot of action films, or if you watch, if you're family and you watch Fast and the Furious, all of them, they do Rockford turns all the time. Spinning around. Do you know what the cinematic 180 degree rule is in filmmaking?
Only because I wrote it down. But yeah.
Oh, all right.
No,
Well,
go ahead.
you can repeat it after I do. The 180-degree rule is a fundamental guideline that states two characters in a scene should maintain the same left-right relationship to each other. If a director intentionally crosses the 180-degree line, it's called a 180 flip, and it is used to visually disorient the audience to show characters are in conflict. So if at any time you're watching this video and Rick and I cross on the screens, there's conflict.
Have we ever had conflict on the show?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Maybe
when I'm drunk.
I think once you got mad at me because I said Batman wasn't a real superhero. But
he
really
is.
Mad.
I don't get mad just because you say stupid things.
And then we disagreed. I think the thing we disagreed the most on was that show on Netflix about the lesbians dating, the reality dating show. And you were like,
forgot about that.
She's a fucking you were. That's my favorite clip because you were like screaming. Oh, it was good.
I was drunk at the time. My apologies to anyone who listened to that episode.
They're all lovely.
So we mentioned this leading up to the episode, but we've officially hit 180. So in films, 180 minutes or 3 hours is the unofficial length of a film that people give the movie the title of an epic. So the film Oppenheimer comes in exactly at 180 minutes. Other films that exceed the 3-hour limit that take on the epic nomenclature include The Godfather Part 2, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and Titanic.
Oh, but oddly,
all
not
epics.
The Odyssey.
No, The Odyssey comes in just under 3 hours, but I think it's still considered an epic. We mentioned this a few episodes ago that films can be under 3 hours, but 3 hours is the unofficial length of the film given.
It's an epic tale.
Yeah. And we'll get more into the Odyssey in a bit because I know it ties into your week. And I have some news that it ties into my week now.
Oh, okay.
But finally, before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to Caitlin and all of the Pokemon fans out there. According to, and this, I've never said this before, but because I never realized, but there's a national Pokédex, which is where I've been getting my information from. So according to the National Pokédex, Pokemon 180 is Flaffy. Flaffy is a wool Pokemon who looks like a sheep. Caitlin is showing you the image there right now, Rick. It looks like a pink sheep. And Flaffy
took me a while.
is famous for its fluffy, electricity-storing fleece. So there you go.
It looks like it's wearing like an old colonial time wig.
Yeah.
Wig.
Well, in her spare time, Flaffy fought the colonizers and freed America.
Freed America and then stole their hair.
Excuse me.
Are you all right? I don't want to say. I don't want to say it for the third episode. I don't want to say it for a third time in a row, but do not die in this apartment.
Yeah. Anyway, those are my 180 terms. While I drink a cup of coffee to clear my throat, what 180s you got? Let's do a 180 and throw it to Rick.
Yeah. So here we go. I've just got a couple that are different than that. Do you know what 180 degrees longitude is?
I feel like I learned that in school, and I don't know at this point. But you'll tell me again, and I'll remember.
Third grader out there going, it's the international dateline.
That's right. It is the international.
Yeah, it's the international dateline. It is where all grinder hookups happen.
Yes. What? That's why I'm single. I didn't know that. That's where they're all at.
180 is considered a perfect score in a round of darts.
Oh, yes, I did know that. I saw that when I pulled up the 180, but I didn't want to take all the 180s, so I just took like the movie and pop culture ones.
If you'll remember from, I think it was episode 176, we said that there were 176 episodes of Seinfeld that Elaine was in.
Yes.
But there were 180 total episodes. And I said I'd mention it again. So here it is. Yep. Mention again, Seinfeld, 180 episodes.
I don't know which 4 she's not in, but I bet you they're my least favorite 4.
Probably. She's just divine.
Yeah, she's my favorite part. And I love Seinfeld. I watch it when I go to bed every night, and she is my favorite part of the show.
I really like her. And even that show, The New Adventures of the Old Christine.
I love that show,
love
too.
That. I never watched it when it was on, but I just watched the reruns of it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Do you watch Veep, or have you watched Veep?
You know, it was hard for me to get into it. I've watched the first season a couple of times, and, you know, with the intention of continuing it, but I'll get to it one day.
Yeah. I love her in that show, particularly in the later that's one of those shows that with each season it just gets better and better.
She's not a redeemable person, right?
No.
She's just,
no.
She's not a good person.
None of them are.
Yeah.
They're government workers. They're never good people.
Maybe they all work for Delta now. That's right. I said it. I'm just kidding.
That's called foreshadowing. We'll learn about that in his week.
It's not your fault, Delta. Golden Girls, also 180 episodes.
Oh, that I did not know.
I don't know if that includes Golden Palace or not, or if it's even real, because it also told me that 180 episodes was I Love Lucy, but it told me I Love Lucy was 179 last week, so we'll see.
That is true.
Hey, can you guess what is the 180th episode of Friends?
It's the one after Thanksgiving.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Let's see. This is season 8, so I'm gonna say it has to do.
It's a very obscure episode. There's not a lot going on in it, and it's a weird one. I happen to enjoy it. I enjoy them all mostly. So,
is it Christmas themed?
It involves like a subplot. And it involves a very famous person who never actually shows up in it. That's a subplot.
Oh. I'm intrigued because that means nothing to me.
Yeah, one of the characters ends up at his house, but he's not there. Unless it's just his voice. I can't remember if his voice is in there, but I know his wife is. Anyway, I know that means nothing. I'll just tell you. This seems to be going on for a while. Someone at home is going, just say it. It's the one with Monica's boots. And it's the episode where she buys really expensive boots.
There's they're going to a Christmas party.
Oh, well, that's one of the interesting facts about the episode. I don't know why my voice just got that high. It's one of the more interesting facts. One of the interesting facts about it is that although they're on their way to a Christmas party, none of the apartments are decorated. Not Ross's or Monica's or Joey's. Nothing's decorated.
Joey's too poor, and they're celebrating Hanukkah this year.
So she buys the boots. They hurt her feet, but because Chandler yelled at her about buying the boots, she wears them, and she's obviously in pain, and it's funny the whole time. So that's it. The subplot I was referring to is that Ross tells Phoebe that Ben doesn't get along with Sting's son, and so Phoebe wants tickets to see his show. So she pretends to be Ben's mom, one of Ben's moms, and ends up at Sting's house to try to make them be friends so she can get tickets to the show. But she gets found out.
That's where she sings Ross can.
The other subplot is that Joey's sister says that she wants to get into fashion to meet Rachel.
That's not true, though.
But it's not true. She's pregnant and wanted to ask Rachel advice on how to tell Joey. Yeah. And then Joey's like, how could you do that? How could be so stupid? And then Rachel gets offended because she's like, are you trying to say I'm stupid?
The scene where he brings his sister's boyfriend in cracks me up because he's so stupid, and Rachel's fighting to defend them, and she's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
By the way, I checked while you were talking about those facts. The Golden Girls, in fact, are 180 episodes without the Golden Palace. So
you were accurate the Golden
in
Palace, though.
It wasn't as bad as I've gone back and watched it. It's not as bad as people at the time, like the critics, made it out to be.
I mean, Don Cheadle was in it. Was that his start?
I think that was his first acting gig. I still remember the episode where they on the Confederate flag, when him and Blanche discussed the Confederate flag. They were so ahead of their time.
I will say the only thing I didn't like about it is I didn't like the Miles thing. I mean,
yeah.
we could have just done without him. He didn't need
Yeah.
to be a part of the show at all if that's how it was going to end up. All right, 180th greatest movie of all time is by the director Visconti. You will remember him. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'd never forget these. You will remember him from episode 157. He directed Rocco and His Brothers, which was the 157th greatest film of all time. This is set in rural Sicily, where a fisherman lives at the mercy of greedy wholesalers. But one family risks everything to run their own boat and operations independently. That, of course, is, you guessed it,
Weekend at Bernie's.
La Terra Trema.
They're both basically the same movie.
Yes, the father dies at the beginning, and they use the fishing wire.
That's why you can't see his arms moving. Fishing wire.
All right, I think you might get this one. 180th greatest director of all time. Just because I've heard of some of these movies, and I feel like you're going to know this. I'm going to throw you off a little bit here.
Okay.
And tell you that he's the executive producer of all the Jackass movies. Jesus. Which is very odd because he's the executive producer of all of these things. He also is a world-renowned director of music videos, and he's won multiple MTV awards. But then he made movies like Where the Wild Things Are and Being John Malkovich and Three Kings.
Oh, yes, that he directed that Fatboy Slim music video. The Spike Jonze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. See, I told you could get it.
You know what? Now that I know it's Spike Jonze, I am not shocked that he is the executive producer of the Jackass movies. That is right up his alley.
It's just weird to me that whoever did Being John Malkovich. I think that there was another one that somehow didn't make it on the list. That's like recent and like acclaimed. But he interesting facts about him, I thought, is that he is the former son-in-law of Francis Ford Coppola, which may then make sense that he put Nicolas Cage in his 2002 movie Adaptation.
Adaptation, yeah.
He told Nicolas Cage to ignore all of his acting instincts in that role, and Cage won an Oscar for it. So
he was nominated for an Oscar. He won it for Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then IMDb lied because it says Cage later received an Oscar nomination for Oscar nomination.
An Oscar nomination, yeah. Okay. Chris Cooper won Best Supporting Actor for that movie, and Meryl Streep was also nominated.
Yes. He was set to direct The Curious Case of Benjamin Button in 2001 with a release date of 2002, but he backed out to work on Adaptation in 2002, and then Benjamin Button got a new director and got released in 2008.
Yeah. Do you know who directed Benjamin Button? David Fincher, the guy who directed Seven and Fight Club.
I was going to say Visconti, but I would have been wrong.
No.
Hey, here's a little bit of hope for you. This is why I put this little factoid in here. He started as a magazine editor and contributor before moving into film.
I hear between those things, he was homeless in New York City for a bit. Oh, no, wait. That was me.
Hey, do you want to play a game or do you want to talk about your week?
Ooh, I do love games. Let's love games. Okay.
Now, this is going to be somewhat interesting because the first set, this is 10 TV firsts that AI thought would be fun for us to play. But then I started looking it up and I found a list of like TV firsts from ABC. And so I don't know if they're biased in their findings, but we can talk about some first, right? So here's some guesses. So you tell me the first openly gay character to appear in TV.
I mean, I just know the mainstream answers that this would be, and I'm sure it's wrong because I'm sure that, like you said, there's probably some obscure Yugoslavian TV show that had it, but Billy Crystal from Soap.
Oh, this is American. This is America based.
Okay, I'm gonna say Billy Crystal from Soap.
He will come up later, but he's not the first openly gay character on a TV show. According to a lot of reports and a lot of what the internet has to say, they give it to
Bewitched?
All in the Family.
Oh. Oh, the drag
Openly gay.
queen. The drag queen. I forget their name, but they play the drag queen. They are, yeah. Do you have the name?
Yeah. No, I mean, I might. It's just I've got so many different lists and things here. We may come across it later, as things, but the ABC gives it to the show Barney Miller, which it was from 75 to 82, featured several gay characters. But this is 71. Yeah, so 71 beats it. So ABC, you're wrong. Maybe this ABC list is just ABC shows.
Yeah.
And we're lagging, so it's very confusing for me. All right, first reoccurring gay character. I'll give you a year, so it'll help. I've never heard of this show, by the way. 1972.
Is that American Family?
No, it's
Oh.
a show called The Corner Bar.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Never heard of it. First openly gay series regular, 1977.
That's Billy Crystal.
You already said it. That's Billy Crystal. Yeah. First prominent gay drama character from 1981. I will tell you, if you've known me a long time and you've heard me talk about a reoccurring dream I have, it's because it's with this character in this show, and I've had this dream for decades.
1981.
Yeah. Drama.
Dallas? I can't.
Close. I mean, it's before that. Dynasty.
Dynasty. That was
son,
before Dallas.
Blake Carrington was like the head rich guy, and his son was gay. And the reoccurring dream that I had, anytime somebody's getting married on a TV show or a soap opera, I have this dream where I'm in a limo with Blake Carrington, and we're on the way to the wedding, and he's talking about his gay son, and then you see the shadow of a tiny hatchet come up from behind, and somebody's trying to kill him with a hatchet. In every time somebody's getting married on a TV show, I have this dream. It's the weirdest thing.
Odd.
Yeah. I wrote this one in because I wrote the second part of this one in. First gay teen series regular. It's from 1994.
Oh, isn't that the Claire Danes show, My So-Called Life? Yeah.
Yes. However, there was a show before that where there was what do I want to say? It was the first time a gay teenage character carried the storyline for like 6 weeks of a particular show, and that was One Life to Live, and it was Ryan Felipe played a gay teen in that. Billy Douglas. I just mentioned that it was the character is the first openly gay teenage featured in a television series. So, I mean, that was just for a small point in time, which may be why they went with the series regular, because it was a whole thing. First lesbian wedding on prime time, 1996.
That's Friends?
Yes. First sitcom with an openly lesbian lead, 1997.
Ellen?
Yes. First successful network sitcom built around a gay lead.
Ellen?
1998. No, that wasn't successful, I guess, in their eyes.
Oh, Will and Grace.
Yes. First U.S. drama centered on LGBTQ lives, 2000.
Queer as Folk.
Yes. First major lesbian ensemble drama, 2004.
The L Word.
Yes. So now we're going to do the ABC thing. So this is what the ABC says. First gay person on American reality show.
Survivor? Oh, no, that's The Real World. Do they count The Real World?
They probably do, but that was the 80s. This is 1973, and it was a PBS show.
American Family.
American Family.
Yeah.
Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was probably I guess the All in the Family thing was 71, so this was 73, but that was reality TV.
Yeah.
Oh, my papers got out of whack. Yes. First gay themed story arc it says Barty Miller. That's an interesting thing about that is that the creator worked with the National Gay Task Force to talk about these characters. Whenever he's going to have somebody on, he talked to the National Gay Task Force about how people should react to it and what the gay person would really be going through, which I think is interesting. First gay lead character on prime time, according to ABC, is Love, Sidney, which aired on NBC from 1981 to 1983, starred Tony Randall as Sidney Shore. And he was obviously gay, but being gay wasn't talked about. So I don't know if you can really count that. First openly gay character on an American soap opera, 1982.
All My Children.
It was All My Children, and it was psychologist Dr. Lynn Carson, who was
Dr.
the
Lynn
first
Carter,
openly lesbian.
Thank you.
Congratulations, the studio audience loves it. First same-sex wedding ceremony on TV, on American TV, happened in 1991 on a Fox sitcom, and this surprised me.
Married with Children?
No, Rock.
I remember Rock. That was a good show. I like that show. Charles S. Dutton.
First lesbian kiss.
Willow and Tara on Buffy.
No. It's in 1991.
No.
And
they showed
ABC.
it?
Yeah. Did they? Let's see. Let's read about it.
I've always heard that the Buffy kiss was the first one, a gay kiss they showed on TV.
This says L.A. Law characters C.J. Lamb and Abby Perkins lock lips in 1991 or smooched, to use another terrible term. I'm reading this for the first time. See also canoodled.
All right.
It should be noted that this scene kickstarted a TV trope, the lesbian kiss episode, where a lesbian or bisexual character kisses a female heterosexual character, which carries its own baggage, of course. Actress Holly Robinson and Katie Boyer had shared a kiss before in a 1990 episode of 21 Jump Street, but this didn't inspire the same level, probably because they weren't white.
That's in the early 90s. There was a lot of lesbian girl kisses straight woman. Roseanne did it.
Yeah, they actually talk about that, about how it kickstarted the trope, the lesbian kiss episode. Then there's a side note, the boycotted kiss. In May of 1994, Melrose Place characters Matt and his boyfriend Rob shared a kiss by the pool, but they didn't get to see it because
that's where they pan away.
Yeah, they threatened to boycott, so they cut away. Anyway, that's some maybe first in gay TV.
Nice.
Anyway, so how was your week, Jeremy? I will say I am shocked to find out that you have no news on one front. Like, I just really thought with the agencies that you work with, and after those two that you saw, that would have panned out. But
yeah, they it is an odd beast finding apartments here in New York City when you are using a housing voucher. Because all you hear about is how you won't be discriminated against, and it's against the law for them not to accept vouchers. But there are so many ways around the law, like turning your phone off, or I was on vacation, I didn't see your email. It just shocks me. And with every viewing I go to, there's like 15, 20 people going to look at the apartment. But here we are. I do have, I went and looked at an apartment yesterday. It's a nice big studio in a building down in Brooklyn. It is on the border of Crown Heights and Brownsville. So I was told by the broker, it's an okay neighborhood. He goes, but it's still Brownsville. So that comes with, with what it comes with. So for those who don't live in New York, Brownsville is kind of known as a lower income area of Brooklyn with higher crime rates than other parts of Brooklyn. So that's what he meant by it comes with what it comes with. But
Is
the
it-
apartment was
I mean, is
nice.
it far enough that that whatever subway stop you would have to get off at is not part of that?
No, the subway stop goes right into Brownsville.
Oh, okay.
So I go right into that part of town to catch the train. It seemed fine during the day, but Google says all the addresses I should go back to at night to check them out. And I'm like, I'm not checking these places out at night, Google.
Well, you get out of work late, you're gonna get there late.
Yeah.
I worry about you.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like
no
your
need
mother.
to worry.
Not that
I
your
will
mom
be
talks like that.
fine. Because when I got to the building, there were 3 gentlemen outside talking about, one was yelling at the other one that he needs to calm down. I'm not sure what he needed to calm down, like maybe like his street life. And he said, "You're going to end up shot like Eddie." And I'm like, should I ask them who Eddie was? Because I got real interested in the conversation. Because he was really trying to lock him down and be like, listen, you got to get on the straight and narrow or you're going to end up like Eddie.
I need to know what Eddie did.
I do too. But I was afraid to ask. And I don't want to go back at night because I feel like I might end up like Eddie. But as I went there,
that's what Eddie did. He walked around.
He went up there at night. The broker came in and the super showed up. They let me in the apartment as we're walking down the hallway. And I mean, she seemed like the sweetest old lady, but the neighbor of what would be my apartment, she opened the door, I guess because she heard noises and voices. And she's, Abner. She's one of those nosy neighbors. And she opened the door and she's an older woman and she had a massive goiter on the side of her neck. And it startled me. And then she just looked at me, looked at the super, looked at the broker, and then went back in her apartment and closed the door. And the super goes, "That's one of your neighbors." I was like, "Oh, okay." But the apartment, it's a massive, I mean, the studio is like 20 by 20 feet. It's a massive space.
I have to ask you this question. Have I ever told you about like my love of combining reality TV shows and how I want to do that? So have you ever heard of Ambush Makeover?
No.
So Ambush Makeover is a show that they would just walk out on the street and they'd walk up to anyone on the street and say, "Hey, we want to give you a makeover. We'll do your hair, do your makeup, and we'll give you like a stylist. We'll take you shopping, get you new clothes, and you can keep everything. And so do you want to do this?"
Oh,
and
I want that show to come find me.
Yeah. So then there's this show called The Swan. Are you familiar with this show?
I am familiar with The Swan, yes.
So I want there to be a show called Ambush Swan, where you walk up to people on the street and you're just like,
"Let me do plastic surgery.
3 months of plastic surgery and get you like, just like you're so hideous. Like I'm gonna do this. Like these things kind of make me chuckle. So now I want to do like Ambush Dr. Pimple Popper and go to your neighbor's house and like knock on the door and be like, "Hey, we're here with our
We're here to fix that goiter."
Because it sounds like a lipoma and it sounds like she could take care of it very quickly.
Yeah. If I move in there, I'm going to need to take care of it real quick. So I heard from the broker today. He has another apartment. The problem is I leave on Thursday to go to my niece's wedding in North Dakota. So he's like, and I got an email from my social worker who's like, "Hey, there's another broker." He sent me an email while I was away on vacation. She was away last week on vacation. Everybody's taking their vacations. It's summer. So
that's what they do.
He sent the email and he had like 15 apartments on it specifically that buildings have set aside for vouchers. So I'm going to call him as soon as we get done here and have him set up viewings for when I get back. Or if I can see one tomorrow, because I work during the day tomorrow, so I get off pretty early. So if I can look at one in the evening. There were a couple on there in less concerning parts of the Bronx and Brooklyn that I would like him to show me before I commit to
for sure
the goiter.
Any chance that they would like do a virtual tour, or do you want to see the neighborhoods?
Oh, I mean, that's how me and Chris got into our first apartment. They sent a video, and I'm perfectly fine with that. If he can set up and send me videos while I'm in North Dakota. So that's going on. So I mentioned I'm going to my niece's wedding. I'm not a good flyer. I don't like flying. So I went to a doctor's appointment last week to ask them for Xanax. And no surprise, anybody who deals with the VA knows that you get bounced around from, you have like a doctor for like 2 months, and then they're like, oh, you've got a new doctor, because they have
That's
such
crazy.
high overturn.
Why-
It's crazy.
Do they go into like their own practice, or do they
I
just
don't
get
know.
shipped around? Because like
Um,
you're in the military, you don't get to just come and go, right? They
well,
must
they're not.
ship
Yeah,
them
the
around.
VA's not staffed with military doctors. They're civilian doctors
Oh,
who just
I
work
didn't
at
know
the
that.
VA. Yeah. So, a lot of it is the doctors are, what do they call it? Doing their residency, or they're like, in training. So, Caitlin's laughing because as I'm telling this story, you saw Rick move behind me to the refrigerator to get his other Red Bull.
I had to get a little drink.
So, a lot of the doctors, like 3 of the last 5 doctors I've had, were there doing their residency. So they were getting their training done. So I go in, I see they do their doctor exam, and then they're like, okay, I have to go check with the main doctor to make sure I did everything correctly. And then they leave, and then they come back like 20 minutes later. So that was the case with this one. I've been told the last 3 visits I've had, you have a new doctor, but she's not here for you to meet her yet. So this time, same thing. I met with this doctor who's brand new. She did everything, ran through her little checklist, and she goes, I need to check with the main doctor. But this all seems on the up and up. You've gotten Xanax at your Orlando VA before because of flights, so you should be fine doing this. I said, okay. So she comes back, and she's like, the doctor said, how many flights are you taking? And I said, well, I've got 1 up and 1 back, but there's a layover, so it's a total of 4 plane rides. And she goes, okay, the doctor says that 1.25 or 0.25 milligram of Xanax should be fine for you. I says a quarter dose on the way up for 2 flights and a quarter dose back. Apparently, this doctor has never had a fear of flying before. So I got 2 tiny little pills, and she said she wanted me to remind you not to drink on it. And I laughed, and I said if she didn't want me to drink with it, she should have given me a higher dose. So she said, that's all she's going to let you have. I was like, whatever, fine. Give me whatever you want to give me. And then she goes, but she is concerned because your blood pressure's always slightly elevated when you come in. And she wants to change your blood pressure pill because she said, I don't care what people know what I take. I'm on a Tetanol, or I was on a Tetanol. And the doctor said, who the hell still prescribes a Tetanol? I haven't prescribed a Tetanol in like 15 years. And I said, oh, that's funny because it was about 15, 20 years that I was put on this drug. So they took me off it and put me on another blood pressure pill. But I guess a Tetanol isn't something you would just come off. So for the next 2 weeks, I am taking a half dose of what I was taking of my old blood pressure pill along with a new blood pressure pill. And then 2 weeks after that, I take a quarter dose for 2 weeks while still taking my new blood pressure pill.
I love that our podcast is about like we've hit the age where we're going to talk about our medications.
Yeah.
It's like we sound like our mothers. What is what I mean? I take lisinopril. Is that what you're?
Oh,
they put you
no,
on?
they put me on amlodipine, which I'm sure is the generic
what
name for something.
What a fun name.
Yeah. So I'm going from a Tetanol to amlodipine. However, she did say
That's like, how are you doing today? Amlodipine. It sounds like it should sound like you're doing great.
Yeah. Well, my cholesterol's doing great. She goes, your cholesterol is amazing. And I was like, thank you. I'm on a cholesterol pill. That's probably why. So that works. This is the blood pressure pill wasn't working. So they changed that up. So along with adjusting my blood pressure pills, I have 2 tiny little Xanax to pop when I take my flight on Thursday. Not for nothing.
Don't they have
but I
pill
might
doctors where
know
you're
somebody.
going?
Do what?
I was like, don't they know pill doctors where you are?
I'm
like
just
pill
saying
mills?
I might know somebody in the city where I'm going that may be able to assist with redosing me.
Yeah. I was gonna say, just take both, and then when you get to, although just be careful not to end up like Mitch and Cam.
Oh, gets stuck in the airport thinking you're somewhere else.
Stay away from the hats.
Yes. So the other thing I thought this was interesting. This is going to tie into a really quick game I want to play with you. I got
Get that drum roll ready.
tickets. I got tickets twice to see the Odyssey this week. Both times I did not go to the showings because I was exhausted.
Oh
So,
my God. You can't be exhausted when you go to the Odyssey.
No, it's 3 hours plus it's AMC. So there's like 30 minutes of commercials and trailers and Nicole Kidman videos beforehand. So you have to have like 3.5 to 4 hours of focus ready. And I didn't have that because both tickets were for after work. And I'm like, I'm too tired. So I'm going to go see it. The big thing, and it's the first film that shot completely with IMAX cameras. It was shot on 70 millimeter film because that's what Christopher Nolan likes. He likes actual film. So there is apparently, according to the internet, only like 8 screens in the world that can show this properly how Christopher Nolan wants it shown on a legitimate IMAX screen in 70 millimeter. One of those screens is Lincoln Square, the AMC that you and I go to. We frequent for our movie viewing. So it has a 2-month run with the possibility of being extended. And they started selling the tickets a year ago, and they're completely sold out. This morning, I managed to find 2 tickets for August 10th. So like 3 weeks from now, in the very front row. I asked you if you want to go see it. You said not from the very front row. No, you're going to be like looking left and right and up and down, trying to keep the action because it's going to be right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be impossible to follow the action, and you probably are gonna get a headache.
Yeah, so I bought 1 ticket anyway. I planned to see the movie before then so I can get the full scope of it, but I don't want FOMO with this. And so I was like, I got to see this on legitimate IMAX at 70 millimeter. Just to say that I did it. And my hope is when the movie starts, there's a bunch of people who didn't make it and there's some empty seats I can run to. And then if they show up in the middle of the movie, I'll just be like, oh, sorry, I thought this was the seat. My bad. I'll do that stupid thing people fucking do when I go to the movies and they're sitting in my seat.
I hate that when you're like the one that's right behind that exchange.
Yeah. So
I'm in D. I'm so sorry.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Because I've heard good, it's coming out. It's critical acclaim. It made a bunch of money this past weekend. So one of the things that popped up I got a notification on my phone because I get notifications from different entertainment sites. Variety, in celebration of Odyssey, posted up an article, the 13 best performances from Christopher Nolan movies. Ooh. In the list are 3 performances from the Odyssey. So I want you to try to guess the 3 performances that they said are from the 13 best Christopher Nolan, and I want you to try to guess where they fall.
So you're going to give me a name and I'm going to tell you what number, or you want me to
No, I want you to just throw out names at first, because I'm pretty sure you'll get like 1, maybe 2 of them.
It has to be John Leguizamo.
Okay, he is on the list.
Okay. Yeah, for the Odyssey, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the 3 in the Odyssey. But I'm going to imagine he's probably somewhere around 9.
He's number 13. He starts the list off.
Okay. That would make sense because it's not like a huge role, but it is probably should be number 1 on whatever, because I've seen some Christopher Nolan movies and I got to say, I don't want to get into a review of it. Listen, Christopher Nolan, if you want us to review your film, how about I bet one of the 18 screens or 8 screens worldwide that can be watched on is at his house. You want us to review it? You bring us to your house. Let us watch it. And we could. I mean, seriously, like, if you're gonna film it on something people can't see it on, then you're, already they're not getting the full experience. So, but it's not his fault that these theaters don't exist. Anyway, back to the game.
Yep. Second performance,
because I know 3 are in this. Then I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's got to be Matt Damon.
Matt Damon comes in at number 5. The 5th best performance of all Christopher Nolan films. Matt Damon in the Odyssey. Variety says Matt Damon is given the where did it go? Matt Damon is given the task of anchoring this film, and he does it brilliantly.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess I'll talk about things. because I saw it, right? It's gonna be part of my
Yeah.
week. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was never annoyed with Matt Damon. You know, like I guess I'm not. Like I can watch The Martian. Isn't The Martian a Christopher Nolan movie?
No, that is
No.
that's a Ridley Scott film.
Yeah, it's a Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I guess I like him in movies because I said a couple of weeks ago he kind of bothers something about him bothers me, but it might just be him as a person I don't know. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
every role, everything he does, I tend to enjoy.
Yeah.
He was good in this, but it's one of those things where I never saw Odysseus. I always saw Matt Damon in a costume. So I'm gonna throw out the other name. I'm just gonna, I don't know, because I feel like it should be Robert Pattinson, but it's probably Anne Hathaway.
You are wrong on both accounts. Now,
Ooh.
this, I mean, I don't know how you're going to feel about this because I have not seen any
It's
scenes
not
from this
Tom
person.
Holland. It
No.
can't be Tom Holland.
No.
Okay.
It's. I will read what they say, and then I'll tell you who it is. It says this individual steals the movie, and it is potentially an Oscar-winning portrayal. And it is the number 3 best Christopher Nolan performance. Is
it the brother of Agamemnon?
No. Yeah, you're not going to get it. So I'm just going to get it because you're probably going to be like, what
Is
the
it
fuck?
the dog?
No. It's Circe, who's played by Samantha Morton, the witch who turns Odysseus's troops into pigs.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I mean, do they have Oscars for like tiny roles?
It's funny you say that. Dame Judi Dench, her only Oscar is Best Supporting Actress for Shakespeare in Love, where she is in it for the same amount of time that Samantha Morton is in the Odyssey, 10 minutes.
I'm going to disagree with the Oscars, and I might disagree with this too, since you're such a movie buff, but you cannot support a cast if you're in a scene for 3 minutes. It's just impossible. For a movie that's 3 hours long, no. But yeah, I mean, that scene is great. That is a great scene. The whole
So
thing.
I gave you 2 of the top 5. I'll finish up the top 5 for you. Number 4
let me
is
guess.
Cillian. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was gonna guess. Like I would say Cillian Murphy, but I was gonna guess him like at number 1.
No, he's number 4.
It can't be. All right. Matthew McConaughey.
No, but he does appear higher on the list.
Okay.
For Interstellar, he's like at number 10, I think. No, I'm sorry. He's at number 8.
Jessica Chastain.
No, she doesn't appear on the list at all.
Oh, so apparently only men can act in Christopher
I will
Nolan
say
films.
2 and now I will say 2 and 1 are both men, and Christopher Nolan has been criticized up until this movie for his poor portrayal of writing women characters. I mean, I'll say the first one is obvious
you can
because
just tell me.
Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight is number 1.
See, I didn't know that was Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah, he did the Dark Knight trilogy.
So Christopher Nolan killed Heath Ledger. Okay.
Yeah. So the second one is from one of his first films, which if you've seen this movie, you'll probably agree. Guy Pearce from Memento.
Oh, yes.
So Memento is a very good movie. And that was the movie that kind of put Christopher Nolan on the map, that made him a sought-after director.
Did he do Inception?
He did do Inception, yes.
Oh, okay. Is Leonardo DiCaprio not on the list?
No. I will say they start the list off with honorable mentions, and these are the honorable mentions. Emily Blunt from Oppenheimer, Leonardo DiCaprio from Inception, Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Inception, Carrie-Anne Moss from Memento, Robert Pattinson from The Odyssey, Robert Pattinson from Tenet, and Jeremy Theobald from Following, which is his very first movie that I've never seen.
I will say that, yes. Oh crap! You just said it, and then I lost it. It was
Robert
one of the
Pattinson.
honorable mentions. No, it was a female.
Emily
Blunt. She was great in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson is great in The Odyssey.
And I will say Carrie-Anne Moss is pretty good in Memento too. I really like Memento, but I think my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, like from his early movies, is Insomnia with Robin Williams and Al Pacino. So good. So good. I love them. And Al Pacino appears at number 12 on the list for that movie. So yeah,
Good
so
stuff. Good games.
that's the list. It's on Variety if you want to see the whole list. That's basically all I did with my week. I worked. I tried several times to see the Odyssey, and I went to a doctor's appointment and looked at an apartment. How was your week? Yours was a little more eventful than mine.
Yeah, it was a little more eventful. I will say I did see the Odyssey. I will say this: I I don't like to influence what anybody's going to think about a movie. I mean, and you all know, everybody knows how much I love Tom Holland, and I'm a huge fan. He's number one on my laminated list. If there's ever Gail Daughtry and the celebrity sex thing that happens where I get to chase down Tom Holland, I will sign up for that movie. But poor Tom Holland. I don't think that it's like
not
he's
great in this
surrounded-
movie.
I don't think it's not that he's surrounded by acting giants. It's just, it's hard to see him doing this. And again, and it could just be that they're all mega stars, but you just see, there are a few people that I could see that I saw the character and not the actor. And one of them was the guy from Dog Day Afternoon. He was great.
Yeah.
And
Jonathan Brummel, not Al Pacino.
yeah. And the girl
the play Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, the play Dog Day Afternoon. And the girl that I forget her name. She plays Helena.
Oh, Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, they were like the characters. Everybody else was like,
the actor. Yeah, I get
the actor in a costume to me. And I'll say, I don't know, I can maybe see this show one more time. It is a good movie. It is a very good movie, and
would you call it an epic?
No, I would not. I would say so. Like Titanic is longer, right?
He should have shot like 15 more minutes. Could have been an epic.
I could leave here and sit down on that couch and watch Titanic start to finish again. I could watch that movie 1,000 times. I can go see the Odyssey maybe one more time. It's just not I don't know. The story isn't really fascinating to me. But I mean, there are moments that are great. And one thing I really appreciated about it is that it's like all real, like it all has happened.
Yeah, he hates CGI. Christopher Nolan does not like CGI.
He's a very good job at making it an interesting show.
Yeah.
But without all of that, and I don't know what tricks he had or what he did, but he did a really good job at it. And I enjoyed it. What surprised me too is like there's like a guy who played a major character in its show I watched. That's not on anymore, and he was like in the show for like 10 seconds. Like all these soldiers are like well-known people in my circles, so I was very impressed by that. I guess I thought Jen loved it and it was good, but I will say too, like sometimes the experience of it, which is why I warn you not to go see it for the first time in the front row. Did your light just go out?
It did. It just
no, Jeremy, come back. Because where I was in the very last row, and there was like a wall next to me, so like that just sort of boxed things in a little bit, made it weird. And then the staircase was this I was in the very last row, so the staircase, if you walked up, you just sit right in my seat. So it was very odd for people who were going to the bathroom who were walking out because it looked like they were going to come and step on you. It's just a very weird experience.
Yeah.
But all in all, then I will say it's good. I will say Charlize Theron was great in it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a good show. It is
Elliot. I know that a lot of people were complaining about Lupita Nyong'o being Helen in it, and they were also, and I say people complaining, right-wing conservatives online, and a lot of them complaining about Elliot Page being in it. But I've also heard Elliot Page is only in it for a couple of minutes, but also does a really great job.
Yeah. And so, but who gives a shit? I mean, Elliot Page plays a soldier. Who gives a shit? Like what?
I just told you, right-wing conservatives.
Yeah, I just don't know, like the shit that they care about. Like what? It's a fucking character in a show. Relax. Anyway, go watch your Young Washington and shut the fuck up. Is all I have to say to them about that.
I will say back on the Christopher Nolan aspect of it, I think Christopher Nolan is a brilliant director. I think his movies are great. and I say this as a massive Batman fan. Like I have been obsessed with Batman since I was a kid. Even his Batman movies, it's like you go see them in theaters, they're big spectacle event films, but you're right, they're not the kind of films that, like, personally I would sit down and be like, it's a lazy Sunday, I'm gonna watch Christopher Nolan movies. Those aren't movies that you or at least I don't consistently go back to and watch over and over again.
Yeah. I told
so
Dylan,
yeah,
I was
it's
like, I'll go with you if you want to see it, because you should, and I'll be there. But then Jen's like, oh, when I come up, I want to go see it in that theater, and I was like, I can't do it 3 times. Like,
yeah,
maybe just you and Dylan go when you come back. But or maybe I need to see it again in a better experience, and then I'll feel differently about it. Sometimes I'm weird like that. Like I see something and I'm just like, ugh, and then I go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh, that was, Anyway, so that was the Odyssey. It is really good. You should go see it. I mean, I say I can only watch it once or twice, and I'm like, 4.5 grapes. Really, I don't think it was like, people are reviewing it and they're saying that it's like the best thing they've ever seen. I cannot say that. I mean, I definitely like Project Hail Mary way more. But anyway, the house is plugging along.
Nice.
I don't know. I think that there was that hiccup. And since then, I think that everybody's just sort of lost interest in the project, and it's just happening as it happens. I mean, days go by and it seems like nobody's there, or like they've moved on to other projects and they just send like one person who is like, okay, well, I'm going to take 3 days to do the molding or whatever that's called. What do you call that? Baseboards,
molding,
things like that.
Yeah.
But I will say, I got to hand it to him. He did me a solid, and I really appreciate it. I bought the wrong door, right? So the door, like, to the bedroom would swing and, like, hit where the TV was going to go, and I didn't like that. So I was like, hey, if I go buy another door tonight, will he put the other door in so it opens where it needs to open? And they agreed to do it, and it was really nice of them. I was like, the good news is the door doesn't fit any other door in my house, so you can have the one that you take out.
You get a free door out of it.
I just wanted it to swing the other way. It's just very confusing to me. I don't know if you ever had to buy an interior door, but it'll say like right swing, left swing, or in swing and out swing, and it's like, but it's different depending on which side of the door you're standing on. So how do you freaking know which one to do? Anyway, I find it very confusing. It got it done. It's all good. I went down. I was in Orlando for the week because we did our staff retreat. And so I went down there for that for a couple of days beforehand, and we did it. And it was pretty cool. It was one of the most, I think, productive ones. I mean, we only met for a couple of hours, but we really had like honest discussions about things and tackled some stuff and really kind of set in motion a plan. And I thought it was really cool. Afterwards, we went to, and I debated whether I would talk about this, but I have to tell you about how crazy this is. And it's not the restaurant's fault. So I'm not talking poorly about the restaurant. Okay. So I just want everybody to understand that. I've always enjoyed this restaurant. I know that there's been some ownership shuffling. And I will say that ownership shuffling is obvious. For better, for worse, whatever.
My favorite stories that you share are the ones where you lay groundwork about how, no, this is a really great business. I don't want you to think I don't like them, but they hated us. So what happened? What business? What business was it?
We would, and it's really nice. And I will, again, it's very nice of them because they accommodated us on a trade out basis, which is always great because, we're a company of limited means and we want to take the whole staff out to
help
eat.
us. We're poor.
And they did it on a trade, which is great. I really appreciate that, but it's beneficial to them too, because then they get advertising dollars to advertise. So it's all very nice. So we get there, and it was just a very odd experience. So we get there and we're sitting down for a while, which we don't care. We have plenty of time. We built it that way. We know it takes a lot of time when you have a lot of people, and we had 7 people. And so we knew it was going to take a while to eat lunch. And so we're there for a little bit, and the waiter comes up, and this is where none of this made sense to me. So the waiter comes up and he's like, thanks for your patience. Everything here runs very slow.
Oh my.
And so it was really like that. And so we were just like, okay. So we made a plan that we were going to order appetizers and all of our food all at the same time so that we didn't get caught up. Plus another big group came in and we were like, let's get this done. And but we ordered appetizers. And one of my favorite things there is the deviled eggs. You haven't been to this place. It hadn't opened before you left, right?
I'm going to say no because you haven't known the name of the place. I'm assuming you'll tell me off camera. No.
Oh, no. I mean, that's fine. It's Outpost. It's the...
Oh, okay. Yeah, they didn't open until after I left. Yeah.
But one of my favorite things to get there is their deviled eggs because they're like pickled. Like they pickle the egg and then the stuff that goes in it. And then they put like a piece of charred bacon on it. It's very delicious. But these things must have been pickled 30 years ago. Because it was the most pickled thing any of us had ever eaten. And like Ryan had to run to the bathroom and he's like, I ate the whole thing. I regret putting it all in my mouth. But like, and Bellany was like, this is so vinegary, but she was so hungry. She's like, fuck it. If y'all aren't going to eat it, I am. Oh, but then this too about the appetizers, right? Just to pinpoint like where this waiter's coming from. We order the yuca fries, which comes with all this stuff on it, but we got it all on the side because part of what comes on it is pork, and we had a vegetarian, so it's two of them for the whole table to share, no little plates. So the waiter's walking by, and Danny looks over and he's like, "Oh, excuse me," and he's walking like this with this thing in his hand, and he goes, "I'll be back," and walks off. And we're all like, everyone's like, did that really just happen? So like a couple of minutes go by and he never comes back. So I go up to one of the other people and I'm like, hey, can we get some little plates? They were very nice. And they were like, oh my God, yeah. And they went and got him and brought him right back. So really the issue is just this waiter, which I'll get more into it. And then they bring out the food and they bring out everybody's food but Danny's. And like a while, I mean, we're not talking like a minute goes by. We're talking like 5 minutes goes.
Okay,
he's a vegetarian.
Yeah, let me stop you right there real quick. Is this story going to end that Danny had a relationship with this guy in the past? And that's why?
Oh, no. Okay. No, it's worse. It's worse than that. It's so much worse that it irritates me, which is why I'm telling you the story, because it's like it's not anything about the restaurant. It's about this waiter and this attitude. And so Bellany says, or Caitlin, I don't know which way. I think it might have been Bellany. Said, like, hey, we're still waiting on his food. And the guy goes, I know.
Oh, Jesus.
And then
I'm the server. I know what I brought you, stupid.
And then they can see him in the kitchen complaining about us. Like, oh, they're like, oh, give me the food. Like, what the? Are you fucking kidding me? So then,
I don't know if I should be angry or love this guy. I love the balls.
No, I mean, I'll get to what was irritating about it all. So then, like, because it's been a problem, I told Danny, I was like, is this going to be a problem when we're like, hey, this is on barter? And then something clicked. And I don't know if Danny said it or if I said it, but we're like, I wonder if this attitude is because he doesn't think he's getting tipped and he thinks he's waiting on us on barter. And so when he came back around and we were all done, I said, hey, this is all trade out. And he goes, yeah, I know it's barter. And I was like, yeah, but can you charge me for like a soda or something so I can tip? And he goes immediately, oh yeah, I'll be right back. And then he comes back with a thing and he charges me a penny. He's like, so how was everything? Did everybody enjoy their meals? We love to hear that. And I was like, you fucking piece of shit. Excuse my language for all of us that have sensitive ears. But it's seriously, like you treated us like crap the whole time because you thought you were, I mean, now, lesson learned on my part, the next time, whatever restaurant accepts us back after listening to this, I will say right off the bat, I know this is on barter, but we're going to tip you. So, but like we do this all the time at restaurants and they're always super nice. And maybe this kid was having a bad day, which I'm not saying his name or anything like that. I mean, they're all very nice. It's a great restaurant. I recommend that you go. What a weird experience. I've never seen that. And it was so blatant, his change in attitude, that it had to be because he thought he wasn't getting.
Yeah.
It was like,
did you leave him a good tip?
Of course I did. Of course
You
I
can't
did. It's
reward
not-
that kind of attitude.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I know that they don't make a lot of money, and that
Yeah.
it's all about their tips. And I actually wanted, I was hoping maybe somewhere inside his soul, he was probably like, oh, I really should have done a better job, or I should have been nicer. Like maybe a nice tip would have made him feel a little guilty. Maybe not. Maybe he's listening right now and he's going like, I'm gonna write you a letter and I hate you, and I don't know. Anyway, just all very weird. But then we left that and we went and we did this thing. So there's this new thing at like this escape room. They've taken one of the escape rooms and they turned it into a game show, right? And it's called, and I bought the mug. I bought the mug because I had such a good time. It was so much fun. It's called the Great Big Game Show.
Notice
And
that is not an Outpost mug. No, I'm just kidding.
if they sold them, I'd buy them. Again, it's nothing. I really appreciate the restaurant. So it's kind of cool. Like, you get randomly split up into teams. I think the ladies were a little upset that we were like, it's kind of funny because, they're like, we're going to be on a team. This is in my brain. This is what they're like. We're going to be on a team. We're going to be on a team. It's going to be fun. And then we get there. We're like, it's a work event. We're going to randomize who's on what team.
Oh.
And then you hear the collective sigh of all the ladies going, But we, so we randomly draw the teams, and the teams are Danny, Mike, Bellany, and Caitlin. And then it's me, Kay, and Ryan. And I just want to say, Ryan, I know you're probably listening to this because you want to hear what I have to say. You're on my team. You're a very smart individual, but you are not game show smart. Because poor Ryan wouldn't listen. He didn't listen to the instructions. And what's funny is, like, I can be, which everyone at work all day kept saying, I can be like Monica from Friends when it comes to games, right? But it was a work thing, so that wasn't going to happen. It was like, I want everybody to participate equally, and it's fine. But like one of the things was, like, I went first, and they handed each team a huge dice, like big fuzzy dice thing, and then you roll it, and at the same time, and whoever gets the higher number, their team goes first. Well, Brian was the next round, and he just grabbed it and rolled it. And everybody's like, you got to wait. He's like, oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was like, for the last 10 minutes. Anyway.
What had him distracted? Was the Supreme Court putting out rulings or something?
He was taking photos and videos of the experience and stuff like that, just to document it. But it was really cool because there was like a Wheel of Fortune kind of game. There was a Family Feud style game. There were like trivia questions. There were other things. And it was just a lot of fun. Now, I will say, when it started off, I think that the blue team, which was the other team, was coming in kind of hot. They were like, energetic and, hey, we're going to win. And they took a very early lead. And our team was just kind of subdued. Like, we had taken 0.25 milligrams of Xanax. And, but it was just really fun. But like in any team building thing or anything like this, it all comes down really to the very last second, and anyone can win the game in the very last second. And for whatever reason, Ryan and Kay and I won. We were 4,000 points behind, and it was like a Final Jeopardy style thing but it was like it was sort of a Price is Right meets Jeopardy, where you took your points and you wagered, and then you spin a wheel. And as long as you don't lose money, and half the wheel was like lose all your money. And as long as you didn't lose money, then you would, then you got all the points you wagered. And because we wagered all of our points, we ended up winning, and it was hilarious. And it's not because I won that I bought the mug. It's just because the whole experience was super fun. And there's photos and videos of it on Watermark's socials about how cool it was. So I highly recommend it. I think I'm going to take my family there, which is pretty kind of cool. That was the big thing. And then Friday we went to see the Odyssey. And then for the rest of the time between seeing the Odyssey and this very moment, I created an Odyssey of my own in my attempt to get back to New York. And it was an adventure. So, I mean, I won't get to, we're at 108 or an hour and 8. So I don't want to turn this into an epic. But let's just say it took me 3 days and 5 trips to the airport to finally get back. I should have heeded this warning. So let me just a little advice to you all. If you get a text message from the airline that says, "Hey, we anticipate that there might be a problem with your flight," rebook yourself onto something earlier. Beat the storm. So there's a horrible storm on Saturday in New York. So just think about this. Every city flying into New York in any of the 3 airports for about 8 hours, all the flights were canceled. So all the people from all the cities on all those flights had to rebook to get on something. Now, I thought I was ahead of the game because I was walking up to the gate and it got canceled right as I got to the gate. And you see all these people upset. You see a guy pointing down the hallway, and I say, "Oh, he's pointing people to that information booth." I turned right around. I went and I picked up the phone immediately. Got a person. Got booked on a 7 a.m. flight out on Sunday morning, and I was like, "I am set." And everybody else was like, "There's nothing they could do until like later, and they're all connections, and it's crazy." But I was booked on a direct flight at 7 a.m. to LaGuardia, and life was great. So I
Oh,
called
were
my
you like
mom.
moonwalking out, flipping them off, be like, "Ha ha ha, suckers"? Because that may have been you pissed in the wind and spit in the face of the gods.
So I called my mom and I was like, "Hey, have you had lunch yet? My flight got canceled. Let's go to lunch." So I get her, and when we sit down for lunch, I'm like, "Why am I still getting messages that my flight was canceled? I know it was canceled. I got it rebooked." No.
Yeah.
My 7 a.m. flight was canceled. So then I was just trying to rebook because we had plans with Dylan's aunt and uncle on Monday. And I was like, I got to get back on Sunday. So I got to figure this out. And all of the flights that I was being offered from American Airlines were for Monday. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I went online and I bought tickets on another airline to go out later Saturday night. So I went back to the airport. And then that got canceled. And then I was getting the apps are like, I mean, they're apps, right? So they're, if 20,000 people are trying to rebook a flight, the apps will crash. There's like websites, right? So it's like there was all these problems with it. And a flight kept coming in and out, right? Like it kept saying, "Oh, there's this 3:40 flight." And then I would say, "Okay, book it." And then it would say, "Oh, no, you can't get out until Monday." And then it would say, "Oh, you're booked on this flight." So I didn't know what was happening. And I couldn't get to the phones because I wasn't on the other side of security. So I was like, let me just go right up to the American Airlines counter, which says one of their tasks that they're very good at is reticketing. So I wait in line for like 30 minutes and I get up to the front and I kind of explained to the lady what's going on. And she's like, "Your 7 o'clock flight was canceled already?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, that's crazy." She's like, "Well, you can't get out until Tuesday." And I was like, that's interesting that you're so magical that you can't without looking in your computer, you can tell me that. And she's like, "Yeah, that's what it is." And I was like, "Well, then why is the guy that I'm texting with right now telling me that there's a 3:40 flight?" And she's like, "Well, it would work better in your app." And I was like, "Would it? Because I just told you that the flight keeps coming in and out." I was like, "You can't just check and see what I'm on." And she's like, "Well, I can do whatever you want, but you're not getting out until Tuesday." And that's when I lost it. I was just like,
just for a spoiler for people, we're recording this on Tuesday, so
yeah,
something magical must have happened.
Yeah, right. So I got very upset with her. I told her I couldn't believe that she was just dismissive and wouldn't look at anything. And I asked why the app was better than asking her, a human being whose job is reticketing according to the sign. And then I may or may not have expressed to her that she was useless. In a loud way. And then I yelled, "None of what you're saying is true," and I walked away. And then I texted
You should have pointed at her and been like, "Liar."
Boo. Boo. So I was frustrated. I texted Jen immediately and I said, "Please come and get me before I get arrested." And then I started talking to this guy who was standing out there, sort of, the guy that tells you, "Hey, or go and drop your bags here and go do this." And so I asked him, I was like, "Do they have those phones anywhere?" Because I was going to give it another shot. The people on the phone were nice to me. I was like, let me try the phone. And he's like, "No, that's only at the gates. And you can only get to the gates if you have a valid boarding pass." And I was like, all right, well, it's just they weren't very helpful. And because I didn't get the chance to even say, because they were just dismissive, I didn't get the chance to say, like, I could fly to Philadelphia and take a train. I could do anything. Like, I wasn't picky. I was like, just let's get there. And he was like, "Oh, well, that's unfortunate." Like, and he's like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "Any way I can get close to New York." And he goes, "Oh, you can't get there until Wednesday." And I just said, "I just said you're useless too," and walked out. And so then I went home, and then what was that? And then the guy on the phone had booked me on the Sunday flight at 3:40, which would have flown to Atlanta, then Detroit, then New York. And then when I got to the airport on Sunday, the flights got delayed so much I would have missed the connecting flight. And so I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to fly to a city knowing I'm missing the connecting flight. Turns out I would have made it because all the flights along the way were delayed over an hour. But I wouldn't have got back until like 1:32 in the morning. And so I had just canceled, and I rebooked the flight on the United flight that I had bought, and got back yesterday, and everything was fine. But my plan was to get back because I thought we were having dinner with his aunt and uncle. But when I got home, they were like, "Well, we just waited around to say hello. We're gonna go back home now." And then they went home, so it was pointless. And I missed the opportunity. They offered us when I was in Chicago. They were like, "We're giving $2,500 plus a hotel stay to anybody who gets bumped," and I totally should have done it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm here. Life is good.
Well, welcome back.
Somewhere in all of that, I ended up watching a movie that we agreed to watch.
Yes, I too watched a movie. I hope it was the same one.
When did you watch it?
I watched it last night when I got into bed. I watched it on my phone.
Oh, okay. You could have watched it out on the big TV.
I know, but I was like, I'll just lay in bed and watch it.
You're trying to get ready for that front row Odyssey.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I want to be like, But yeah, we watched Heartstopper Forever.
Heartstoppers Forever. The conclusion to what I would call one of my favorite little gay series. I have loved it from the beginning. And this was sort of instead of doing a season 3, they did a movie wrap up.
Well, see, they did 3 seasons. So this would have been the 4th season, or they did as a film instead of a series. And it was released this past weekend on Netflix, where you can also watch seasons 1, 2, and 3 if you'd like. If you just watch this movie, you can watch the 3 seasons as a prequel. It's your own House of the Dragon.
This happens from time to time. There was like that show Looking, that had a couple of seasons, and then it got canceled, and people were like, "Well, what happens to the gays?" So they made a movie, and that movie was great. And a lot of times I'll wrap a season up with a movie, and most of the time it turns out to be amazing. So what do you think Rotten Tomatoes was for Heartstoppers Forever?
For the movie, I mean, I know that the show has the critics and audiences love the show. I know it's, kind of universally beloved within the community. However, it's always a hit or miss, because if it gets gay bombed, then it drags it down.
It was not gay bombed. I'll tell you that.
Well, then I'm gonna say it's like a 98.
It was 93 critics, 92 audiences.
Okay, yeah, up in the 90s. That's good.
Yeah.
A few things I want to say right off the bat. This while they didn't for the series, for the movie. The 2 stars of it, Joe Locke and Kit Connor, were both executive producers on this movie. So they now have producing credits. Good for you, lads.
Good for them.
This particular movie follows
get a little cash on the back end.
The volume 6 because obviously Heartstopper is a graphic novel series. And this movie follows what happened in volume 6, as well as a short novella that was written specifically on Charlie and Nick, who are the characters they play. Also, one thing I want to say, this has no bearing on the movie because the actress did fine, but I want to know why Olivia Colman did not come back as Nick's mother. I love her in everything she's in, and I loved her scene when he comes out to her, and then you see this lady come in, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Mom." And I was like, lies.
I know. Immediately, I was like, this is not your mother.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. She had a scheduling conflict.
Oh, they should have they were executive producers. They could have held that movie. Hold it until she's ready. That's Olivia Colman.
It's been a long time anyway. Yeah, you know, since the series, and I don't think anything in this was timely. I think they should have waited.
Yeah. But a shout out to Anna Maxwell Martin, who replaced Olivia Colman. You did a fine job. You were fine.
Your name might as well be Brandy. You're a fine girl.
You're you did fine. So go ahead. You were gonna say something?
No, I mean, she did fine, but I mean, don't you think Olivia would have really knocked it out of the park? Like,
Yes, but I don't want to knock a
especially-
poor actress because she was offered a part.
I know it's like where was I recently? Listening to somebody talk about being an understudy. Oh, it was at the Broadway by the boardwalk. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. We both did that.
Holy
we
crap,
didn't
we
talk
did
about
that was this past week.
Yeah, we went to Broadway on the boardwalk. It's great. But it was a guy who was he was a crooner type guy, but he was talking about being the understudy for somebody famous that people wanted to see, and when he was going to go on.
Oh,
because
Ricky Martin. When Ricky Martin was doing
Martin.
Evita, he was his understudy of Che.
Yeah, and he was going to go out as Che, and they were like, we're holding the house, and he thought, oh, it must be a packed thing, and it was because everybody was returning their tickets.
Yeah,
they
mass exodus to the box office to exchange their tickets for when Ricky Martin would be there.
But I just want to say that a huge part of this movie is that it's the focus of this, of course, is Nick's problems. It's Nick's turn to have problems. So it's Nick's problems that are the focus of this. And the resolution to those problems is really conversations with his mother. So you just wanted that to carry through from the kind of energy and what was happening before. And I think it missed the mark, but not by much. So it's fine. You did a fine job. Do you hear this behind me? These dogs, they're going crazy.
I did hear a little wow, wow.
It's not me. It's me. This is,
I thought it was your stomach. I was like,
that,
do you need to eat?
I do, actually. Yeah, they're distracting me. I'm like, be quiet. It would be a bad look for the podcast if I turned around and started kicking the kennel. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I love my baby.
So one thing I want to say right off the bat about this is obviously this is a movie that up to this point we have seen in series. I think, it was 6-8 episodes, something like that. So there's a lot more room for the characters to breathe and to go deeper into the stories. So where the series, it's always been a focus on Charlie and Nick, but the series also dives into the relationships of their friends and their families. This movie is solely focusing on Nick and Charlie. Everything else is it's almost like there's other storylines going on, but they just come into your peripheral vision and then they leave. And then they come back and it's like, oh, they're fighting. And it's like, well, why are they fighting? Let me see that scene. And it's right. All just a focus on Charlie and Nick because you just have the short time period of the movie to get this story told. So everything else feels like less important in the movie than it did in the show for the other characters.
Yeah, and that makes it sad for me because I just have to say, some of my favorite characters are Charlie's sister, which she is she's one of the subplots that gets more
that gets a little more
others.
flush out.
And she gets to explain her relationship and why people find and what. And I really appreciated her little monologue. I like that.
Yeah.
The other, and I know that you disagree with this, and that is okay. And you're not drinking wine, so you're not going to scream at me. But my favorite character is Tao, and in his relationship, I forget her name, but Bella. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I'm just insulted that you would only remember the male character, and you're like Christopher Nolan. You ignore the female characters in your stories.
Because he's my favorite.
But yes, it is Al. It's Tao and Al.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's Tao and L.
Caitlin is cracking herself up at that shit. I love it. But I've always just really liked his neuroticness and his need to be liked by Elle and it's just
and you're right. I always found him obnoxious. But I know what you're saying because my Tao and Elle are the teachers. Like, I would
Yeah.
love to see their relationship, and they just mention them briefly. I would love to see, because I love those two. I feel like they have such good chemistry. I would love to see maybe a sub series of those two after, and you don't have to have all the kids involved because they're all graduating.
Right,
But like,
yeah.
focus on
The
you
next-
can bring new kids in,
Yeah,
and you can
new
focus
kids.
on these two teachers. I love
and they
their
are-
kind of back and forth.
Yeah, and they already started that idea with like the younger kids that joined the
Yeah.
little gay group that he started, and there you go. It's just so that's a really unfortunate thing. They should not have done this as a movie. They should have done it as a
fourth
series.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have taken the same amount of time filming, and really like dug into some of these other characters because they were major life changes and things that were happening for them.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I found to be I wrote down. What were the I said, "Oh Jesus, this just got stupid." And you might know the conversation. It was the conversation at the party, and it was just so dumb. And
It's
it was like
it's like, okay, we have to get conflict in here. So felt so manufactured. Like, okay, this is the fight scene where you two fight, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, turn off now. It's where you fight and break up. And the reasons for it are so stupid because you have, and in a normal movie, this would just be like, okay, whatever. But we have 3 seasons of these two being able to have a conversation and communicate. And the fact that this stupid shit is what broke them up is so infuriating.
Right. And I think they tried to recover from that because there's a line that Charlie has later where he says, "We were always able to talk through these things."
Yeah.
But the difference there is that they were able to talk through them because it was Charlie who was the problem. And what's different this time
is Nick is the problem.
Nick is the problem. And that he, always suppressed his feelings so that someone else could thrive, and he was having issues, but it still makes that conversation dumb.
Yeah.
It's just
Can
so
I give
dumb.
you what I think would have been a better movie? Because this is what I thought was happening. Okay, so the party scene, they have the fight, and then Nick leaves and he gets in his car. He's going, maybe we should break up. And then he gets in the car, and then we follow Charlie, what happens afterwards. Then when we get to a certain point, which is the party, when they go to Pride,
Yeah.
they cut back to Nick in the car. And earlier in the movie, he talks about a dream he had where Charlie died because he wasn't there to save him. I thought that whole part of the movie, when they break up to Pride, was him thinking, if I start this car and I drive away and I break up with him, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be torment for Charlie. And I thought he was going to have the car and go inside and be like, I don't want that to happen. But what they did is they started it with Nick's
That would
perspective.
have been a way better movie.
Wouldn't it? I should have written this damn thing.
Yeah, if he had walked back in there and
said,
so
I'm
none of that
stupid, let's
happened.
talk this out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oscar.
And then
you just blew your Oscar.
and then you wouldn't have to have that scene between him and his fake mom.
Yeah. You could have had Olivia Colman for
And
one
also,
day
like-
to say, oh, I'm proud of you.
Also, what happened to us? Did they change it? Did the actor who plays his brother change halfway through the movie, or did he just shave
He
his
does look
goatee?
different.
He shaved his
I think it's
goatee,
because
and it
he
was totally
shaved.
different.
Yeah.
He looked
Maybe that's
totally different.
You know who would do? Remember Jake, who worked at? If he had that long beard,
Yeah.
his face would have totally changed like that too if he shaved his beard.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I'm not going to say that it was a.
No, it's a
that it
good
was a
movie.
bad movie.
And if you've
But
watched the first 3 seasons, definitely watch the movie because it helps to tie up some loose ends. But it's confusing. I don't know if the person who wrote these are the same person who wrote the series, or if this is just how the author. By the way, at the end when he's on the train going to see Nick, the author of Heartstopper, she's on that train right behind him. It's her little cameo.
Who?
When he's on the train at the end, when he's going to see Nick at uni, that's the Brits say.
Yeah.
On the train, the lady behind him on the train, that is the author of the Heartstopper graphic novels. She wrote all the
okay.
graphic novels.
You know what's funny is you said uni, and I made a note in here that was like, because he started that gay youth group, and I'm like, I started a gay youth group when I was at uni.
British words make me laugh. Okay, I don't know if you heard me, but I was in the room chuckling in the beginning when I was watching the movie because the movie starts with Charlie campaigning to become head boy.
Head boy.
And they kept saying Charlie wants to be head boy. And I kept giggling. I was like, in a gay context, head boy is what we're all after, isn't it?
Yeah, and right, and I was laughing too because there's just posters everywhere that says Charlie for head boy, and
Yeah.
it made me laugh. And then right off the bat, I mean, right, this happens. I didn't make this up. He Charlie jerks Nick off on a pier.
Yeah. And then, yes. Okay, yes. I will say, going into
it's
this,
a little different.
the
I was not
sex,
expecting.
it's a little more mature, and the sex scenes are there. There are sex scenes in it because they have a sexual relationship. But yes, a couple of things that surprised me. Right out in they're into, I guess, public stuff, because right there on the pier, he reaches his hands into his pants. And then
He doesn't just reach in and grab it. He reaches in and it's like...
it's a jerking motion.
Yeah.
Then Charlie goes down on Nick goes down on Charlie in one scene, and Charlie's doing the face, and I'm like, oh, calm down.
I know, it's weird, right?
Yeah,
'Cause you're
it's
not
weird
used
to
see
see them.
But I mean, it makes sense in the progression of their life.
But then the thing that, and forgive me for feeding into stereotypes, but the scene when they're having sex and then Charlie gets behind Nick, like, you're not the bottom.
But that was the second time I was like,
I'm like, are you trying?
Oh
something
no,
new?
the first time I said my thing was rugby boy is the bottom.
That surprised me. But then later they have sex, and then Nick's on top of it. It's like,
and the world is set right.
They're trying stuff out. That's all they were doing. They're just trying something new.
Yeah, good for them. You know, one thing I made a note about too is like every time they kissed, they never just like kissed. It was always like, we're going to make a porno right now. Like, it was like hardcore. Like,
I did
even
notice
if they
that
were in front of their families, they're just like, we're gonna go at it right now.
Also, my first couple of guys that I was with, or guys I dated, we were that way too. It's like, it's fresh, it's new. Although at this point they've been dating for a while, so you think it would cool down, but they're still, young men. So it I almost knocked my coffee cup over talking about this. Is it warm in here? Excuse me.
It's warm in here. I know that.
But yeah, I did notice they're very like sex on the mind. And I was like, that when I was 20, 21, 22, sex was always on my mind too. So I won't hold that against
like I said,
them.
it's like the natural progression, but it is still like they're in high school and it's weird.
Oh yeah, for the movie they're still in high school.
Yeah.
But they're executive producers and they're in their 20s. They're like, more sex, more kissing.
Good for them. Yeah. One point, another thing I'll point out, and I don't, they do this in movies. Do people do this in real life? I have seen it happen as I walk the dogs, and I get that it does. But does this happen in a group of teenagers? They're all sitting around, and somebody pulls out a bottle of warm vodka and pours it into everyone's drinks, and they drink it. Does anyone, like, people don't use ice when they just drink warm vodka out of a bottle?
I mean, when I was that age, we did shots. We didn't put ice in our shots. But we didn't really shoot vodka. We would do like Jägermeister or Goldschlager or...
Everything was chilled.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Fancy.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, we didn't have ice out in the fields. We just poured it into little buckets and we drank.
Maybe I shouldn't have made it so appealing by chilling it, and then maybe I wouldn't be an alcoholic.
Well, see, you're supposed to drink it warm as a kid, so you shun away from it.
I will point this out. This is kind of funny. So so they're broken up, and Charlie finds that camera and gets the pictures developed, and then slides an envelope under the door. So Nick comes home and he opens the door, and there's an envelope there that says Nick, and Jen looks at me and goes, "That's his letter to Hogwarts." Crack me up.
Poor British cinema and television. It will always be tied to Harry Potter, whether it wants to or not.
So they did a thing at the end of the movie, and so at the movie, I'm like, it's an enjoyable movie. It ties everything up. It's fine. And then they did a thing, and they said epilogue.
Yeah.
The epilogue earned it another half grape for me. Without the epilogue, I would not talk so highly about it. But the epilogue, it just got me. Like, it was when.
Are you about to cry?
No, when I do love his sister or something.
Yeah.
And so somebody's videotaping all of them, and I assume it's Tao. But then somebody has to videotape his little segment. But they're videotape everything, and he asks the sister, I think, what does the future hold for you? And she says, what is the future? And she goes, oh, I don't know, probably nothing and death. And I was like, that was hilarious. And then I have this note. I don't know if this is just a thought I had or if this is something somebody in the movie said, but I don't love anyone more than my dogs. I think that's just something I might have said out loud.
When Nick and Charlie are talking and he says, I love you more than my dogs, I love you more than anything in this world. Is that okay? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I love you too. Let's do it.
So then the whole thing is like Tao and Elle are fighting the whole time because she wants to go off and do her art thing, and she
wants to move to Berlin to pursue her art.
And Tao's like, fine, we'll do a long distance relationship and I'll come visit you. And she's like, I don't want that baggage. I think you should live your life and I should live mine. And then so you get this impression that that's all that it is. And then she's in Berlin and she does her art show and Tao shows up to surprise her. And it gave me all the feels. And I was like, that was the satisfying ending that I needed for that. So great.
Yeah.
And did you notice, like, because the whole movie is like, they're always in bed together.
Yeah.
And most of the time at Nick's house, but then they're in bed together at Charlie's house. And then the breakup happens, and then it's just Charlie in bed. And like, does he sleep in a different bed when it's just him? Because he barely fit in his bed. But when it was both of them, the bed was bigger. I just remember thinking
they
the
go
bed
back
was
and
tiny.
forth. Nick has a full-size bed. Charlie has a twin-size bed.
It's tiny, but when they were both in it at Charlie's house though, and it looked bigger. It was just weird.
Yeah.
And then, when Nick went to uni, his bed was like a queen size bed.
Oh yeah, he had.
So I wrote my bed in uni wasn't that big. It was more like Charlie's bed.
I'm guessing rugby stars in Britain are like football stars here. They get the peak rooms. They get big beds.
Yeah.
He's big man on campus.
I forgot. He was probably on a scholarship, and they love their sports.
Yep.
Do you know I went to college with a guy who was on a full ride plus $5,000 a semester in spending money?
For what sport?
For football.
I'm going to have to take up football and go back to
tiny
school.
Little Mars Hill College in North Carolina. They still did that. And like the best academic scholarship you could get was a full tuition scholarship. So you still had to pay room and board.
Ah, damn.
Isn't that cuckoo?
That is crazy.
So anyway, how many grapes?
I'll give it 4 grapes, 4 out of 5. It's still an enjoyable movie. It's a great tie up to if you watch the series, but I mean, just the little things, I would have preferred this to be a 4th season, but you know what? My favorite thing about the series is Nick and Charlie. So a movie that focuses on them isn't bad. I'd have given it 5 if Olivia Colman showed up.
Yeah, if it was a season, I would give it 5. But I was leading at 3.5. I was leading at 3 really until they did that epilogue. And
you know what?
Like,
actually,
okay,
4.
You got 3.5.
If Olivia Colman shows up 4.5, if they had done my idea where the whole thing was just in his head, 5 stars. Amazing. Give them all the Emmys. Yeah,
a whole bushel. I just think that what I really missed about it was the side stories. And I get, and I think when you had to focus on Charlie and Nick for the whole thing, that you're bound to have cringy scenes like the fight scene that they had. But I guess it can spiral like that. It can spiral.
Yeah, and I do kind of like the meta of it. At certain points, they comment how some of the things they do in their relationship are cringy, but they like the cringy moments. So it's nice that they're aware how cringy they're being to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. It's worth a
Check
watch
it out.
for sure. I just love the series so much.
Yeah.
That I had expectations.
Do you think that they had the whole like, oh, we're gonna do this and then and then they saw heated rivalry and they're like, more sex? That's what the audience wants, more sex.
Can you imagine if it was like if their sex scenes were like heated rivalry? It would be so uncomfortable.
Well, welcome to the mature Heartstopper.
I mean, you feel like you know them, and then you get somebody eating somebody out.
Yeah. Back when Game of Thrones happened. and Joey, my brother, would watch it, and he talked about Aria.
Yeah.
Because towards the end, because she starts off as a little girl on the series, and because it takes 2 or 3 years to get a season, by the last season, she's a woman and she's doing sex scenes. And he was like, I can't, they're so uncomfortable to watch. Because I'm like, you should not be having sex scenes.
Right.
So it's the same kind of thing. It's like when you see these characters having sex, you're like, no, you just started school. You're a high school kid. Stop it. But they're in their 20s now.
Yeah, it's like that weird part of Harry Potter where he was in that fountain.
Yeah. Oh, with Hermione? It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's just weird.
Or when he's naked riding a horse.
So we're doing this next week?
That's not. Yeah, sorry, Caitlin. Naked riding a horse was a play he did, not on Harry Potter.
It was not naked riding a horse. It was like sex with a horse, wasn't it?
I don't know. I never
is
saw
about
it.
A dude. Equus is about a dude who sleeps with a horse, I think.
Oh, very, very ballsy to go from Harry Potter to that. Good for you, Daniel Radcliffe. Or Elijah Wood. I'm not sure which one. One or the other. Oh, all right. Well, on that note, yes, we're going to, because I go to North Dakota, so we're going to try, I come back on Tuesday, so we're going to try to do the episode when I get back, unless I have flight issues like you do. Knock on wood, I do not. But we should be back next week. And until then, the cork is back in the bottle.